Hey everybody, so here we are with the demo on the shape project. I have already traced a few shapes here, some of them rectilinear and some of them curvilinear right here. And before I start talking about how to compose them and then transfer them onto your final composition, I just want to say that I've gotten the paper. I have my 8.5 by 8.5 cardstock or Bristol paper. And I know I've mentioned in the instructions to make it 8 inches by 8 inches, but you know, this piece that you're going to be composing on top of, you can make it smaller. You can make it maybe 7 inches by 7 inches, just so that you have more of a border here. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab my compositional paper here, and before I even start composing, let's talk about how we gather some of these tracings. So here I have a nice, I have a magazine here. I don't know, Popular Mechanics. It's got some people on here and whatnot. And I kind of pre-selected some pages to show you about how we're going to do this. So I have a page here, and I'm going to take out a pencil, and I'm going to go ahead and trace right around here. And now I chose this one because I can see that right here there's a woman, and she's holding this child right over here. And I'm going to show you how you can just kind of bypass that, but yet keep the silhouette. So if I come down here, and I'm going to do this fairly quickly, so it's not going to be very accurate, but if I come down in here, I am going to get up to her arm, and I'm going to try to kind of go with the idea that she is by herself and not with another person holding her. Now notice that I'm going around the shape, the person, the figure, and I'm not going inside where her face is. That's not what we want to do. We just want to get the outside silhouette of our chosen figure. Now this would be my curvilinear figure rather than my rectilinear figure. Now, are you going to be able to find a perfect full curvilinear and full rectilinear? Chances are no. So it's about choosing something that is mostly curvilinear and mostly rectilinear. So here's my piece right here, right? This is her. Here's the other one. This one I grabbed from him right over here. So you can see that he's got some wires and what have you, but I just went ahead and tried to trace just him only, right? There's another one back here that we can look at that I saved, and we have some tools, right? So I can come back here, and on one sheet of paper, I can just start collecting these things. So this is a nice, interesting rectilinear shape where I can kind of go ahead around some of these tools and just find some nice rectilinear shapes that we can use. Remember, the rectilinear means that it is void of curves. Now, of course, I'm going fairly quickly, so I'm not doing an amazing job at getting the full details here. Right, but here we go, right? I'm getting in there, and voila. There we go. So we got, some nice shapes here. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to cut these shapes out. Now, you saw me tracing from magazines, right? But if you see that you don't have any magazines, just open up your tablet or your iPad or what have you, or your computer screen, and go ahead and put the tracing paper on the computer screen and, try your best to trace them out as if it was a print medium. Okay. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and, compose our pieces, put them in any kind of way that we find interesting. Hey, maybe I want to show this person falling into a wine glass, or he's balancing. I could even do something like this, like where they are tipping on the wine glass. But what you want to do is avoid doing something like this. I need you guys to overlap. We need to do overlapping so that we can do interlocking figure-ground relationships, right? So after you've composed your piece here, like this is a truck, and you know, just move it around. Here's a dog. Maybe I can put the dog somewhere in here, you know, and yes, you can have things going off the page. In fact, it's encouraged because, you know, that is called breaking up the composition, breaking up the ground. When you break up the ground, you activate the whole composition. If you keep everything in here and have a white outside, you're kind of locking it in, and you don't get a lot of eye movement within your design. So yes, I encourage you guys to go ahead and have some things coming off the page, coming into the page. Oh, I've almost forgot this little hammer. We can do a little hammer in there. Another thing to avoid is, you know, having them overlap way too many times in one section like this. That's too much. It's going to be very hard to figure out how to do the interlocking figure-ground relationship that I go through in the visual instructions video links. All right, once you get something that you like, you know, we'll just assume that, you know, this is a nice composition for the sake of the demo, and let's go ahead and get another piece of tracing paper. And we're going to go ahead and, you know, lay this on top carefully and start tracing our pieces right on top, because what we're doing is we're making a master copy. Now, I changed my pencil because if you use something that is too pointy and too sharp, you can cut into the tracing paper. So I try to get a pencil that, you know, is already kind of has a round tip. So as I go over these pieces, and I'm just going to do it very quickly, just a section, just so that way we can see what's going on for the sake of the demo. Wow, that's a little bit of a tight spot right in there. You know. Okay, we got that. We have this right in here. And we're going to do it in here. And we have the little hammer right in there. And let me go ahead and finish this guy right over in here. And our wine glass. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and stop just so we can go through this fairly quickly. But let's suppose I have done the whole piece, right? I've got my master drawing, my master template. Now, how do I transfer this onto my final compositional white pristine paper, right? What I'm going to do is this. Now notice, right, I'll just do the letter R, just so that you can see that right now we're looking at it right side up. So we're going to take this and we're going to turn it the other way, right? We're going to put it upside down. Now you can see that the R is backwards. That means I have flipped the paper over. The graphite that was on the pencil is now on the bottom. So when and you know, this is where you really got to hold this paper down. You can tape it if you'd like. This is the part where you're just going to have to be careful and, you know, not move the paper so much. And you're just going to have to redraw and retrace over your piece. Now, you don't have to press that hard. You just need to apply some pressure, right? And so here we are, applying some pressure, getting in there. This is a little tight squeeze in there. Let's go ahead. And I'm just going to show you. This is just a simple technique to just get the ghosting and to transfer your piece into the composition, right? And don't worry if your piece is very light or you can't really see it. You know, you're going to go over it again with your felt tip markers. Only problem with this is it's hard to find out where it was that you already went over. All right. Now, before you remove this, notice my hand is still there or it's still taped. You kind of want to just go ahead and take a look. Did it transfer over? Did you forget a part? So when I look over, I can see that, you know, right here, I forgot this part of the arm. I need to get some more of that. So I'm going to go back over and really get that arm. Some people like to use a spoon or something to like really rub on here, right? To really get this on there. And you could do that. You could use like maybe a spoon and really rub in here. That also can help. So let me look now before taking the paper off. And that's pretty good. I got a pretty good, a good ghosting in there. The next thing is you're going to get your felt tip marker or felt tip pen, and you're going to go ahead and trace over all of these. After which, you're going to start, mapping out what is going to be black and what is going to be white. If I want my figures to be black, which I recommend, and the ground to be white, I'm just going to go ahead very lightly and put, like, for me, a B for black, black, black. But here it overlaps. So I'm going to make this white and white. Right here, this little tip is black. And there's a negative space in here. If this is black and this is white and this is, black, I am going to have to make a choice. Do I leave this white? Yes, I do. Because we're going to have black going in here. So this is white. So I can do a little W in there. You can't really tell, right? So it's going to be white, and then that little tip is white, and then this is white. But we got black, black, and then this is black. This is going to be white. This is black. The wine cup. This is the wine cup. This is going to be white, the handle on the hammer, and then this is going to be black. So this is what I recommend that you do. Afterwards, the only thing you're going to really need to erase with your kneaded eraser or very light gum eraser is the W's. Because the B's for the blacks that you did very lightly are going to get covered up in black ink. All right, everybody. I hope that really helps you out to start off. And again, this could be a really fun project. Like I can already see that, it would be kind of cool to maybe put this, vice grip maybe somewhere like around where the guy is, or maybe the vice grip could have gone where the dog is. See, I could do something like this, and it could be funny. Sometimes, you can have fun with some of these projects. You can also make it thematical, right? Come up with a theme. Okay, everybody.